Hey, what's happening? Happy Friday, everybody. It's Daryl here. It's 4 a.m. here in Connecticut, bright and early on the East Coast. Today, I want to talk about the woman in her 40s that refused to put a mask on a flight Miami to London. And they turned the plane around. This was just yesterday, Thursday. Okay, let's just get right into it. Just the specifics. The plane took off from Miami about an hour and a half into the flight. If a plane flies at approximately 500 miles an hour, that would put it an hour and a half, about 750 miles out over the Atlantic. 750 miles. That's like from here to DC, I think. It's a pretty good distance. The entire flight, I believe, takes about an hour and 25 minutes from Miami to London. I imagine she refused to put a mask on. I imagine this probably started as soon as the plane took to the air, and they debated. They cajoled her. Is that what it's called? Coerced her. Tried to use reason. I'm surprised they didn't use force, but I'm glad they didn't. The plane turned around and went back. My first impression was great. I do not have a problem with throwing a mask on if it protects somebody else. You never know who has got who's old, especially older people. My biggest fear is that I somehow carry the COVID-19 virus and infect my mom or somebody else, and they end up passing away. I've already lost Audrey. I wouldn't be able to live with myself, seriously, at this point. After losing Audrey, my ex-girlfriend, on August 5th, just 4 or 5 months ago, if I had something to do with giving this to one of my relatives or anybody, I don't think I'd be able to live with myself. All right, so my first impression was great, good. I hope she caught hell. I hope she's embarrassed. I hope she gets fired. All right, for the people out there, one of the videos I did about double masking, it got way more views than I ever imagined. I mean, it was like 500-600 views, but still, I didn't expect it to even get 100. So there's a lot of opinions on this. This is the thing I want to talk about. Yes, the air is recirculated, and there's a HEPA filters on the planes, which get rid of the virus. But here's the thing. You're so close to each other, unless you're traveling first class and you got a couple grand. I don't know what a first class ticket from Miami to London would cost. And even in first class, you're not guaranteed. You're still probably within 6 feet of each other. You're cramped in so close, and people cough, people sneeze, people rub their snot. God knows where people put their hands. If you ever think about the thing that really skeeves me out in the last year or so, I always use the hand sanitizers when I go into stores, because I started reading up on some of the bacteria that they find on carriage handles, including fecal matter. And this, seriously, so, I don't have a problem with wearing a mask. Hell, I'd probably wear gloves too. And I'm not a germaphobe or anything. So, even though there's the HEPA filters, you're sitting next to a person here. People are constantly going back and forth in the aisle, 1 or 2 aisles. It depends on the plane. The one going to London must have 2 aisles. So there's people going up into the overhead compartments right above you, breathing down on you. Okay, back before COVID was around, you could deal with this. You might catch a cold, you might catch a flu, you might get a little snot in your hair or whatever. But now it's a different story. Like I talked about in another video, I don't even want to get sick for 3 or 4 days. Call me a baby or whatever. I do not want to be laid up in my bed with a fever and all that stuff for even 3 or 4 days. Forget about the hospital and all that stuff. So I don't have a problem wearing a mask. So, where to start here? Now, I really started to think about this. What was the cost to the airline? All the gas, there was 129 passengers and 14 crews. So this affected 140, I don't know, I might get this wrong, 143 people total. it affected their lives. Getting, I don't know, it must take a lot of scheduling for these planes. And when you cancel one plane, I know it's set up so these planes are set up all across the world. And you cancel one plane and it'll cancel 10 more over here and then 10 more, it's exponential. So I mean, the how many lives this affected had to be in the thousands or tens of thousands. You think about, I started thinking about this. What if there was people going to to London? There was 129 passengers, 14 crew, 129. Some of them probably were going to weddings this weekend, funerals, business meetings. And chances are a lot of them aren't going to make it. All because one woman, because she has her freedoms and she doesn't want to put a diaper on her face. Oh man. I swear to God, I've never hit a woman, but I would be so tempted to just, I'm sorry, I didn't mean that, but, it's 8 hours, 8 hours and 25 minutes. You might be a little uncomfortable. You'll probably nod off or read a book. Chances are, I would forget I'm even wearing it. And you think about all the lives that this affected. I started thinking about other protections, like, I'm going to admit something to you guys that I don't think I've ever admitted to you before. You guys know I ride a mountain bike because we got about almost 10 inches of snow on the ground now. And ice, I'm not riding right now, but I ride every day about 10, 20 miles a day during the summer. And I don't wear a helmet. I'm not proud of this. I can't even give you guys a good reason why I don't wear a helmet. And here I am. I almost feel like a hypocrite sitting here and lecturing and going on and on about, following rules and protecting myself. But that's the key thing here. When I'm doing that, I'm only putting myself in danger. I have insurance. Nobody else is going to pay, if I split my brain open. No, I shouldn't laugh at that. Nobody else is going to have to pay for it, so it's not a matter of insurance. So I tried to think of another example, like driving intoxicated. What if, so this lady doesn't want to wear a mask because it's her freedom. And it affects other people's health. Like I said, coughing, sneezing, you're in such close quarters, these HEPA filters don't make a difference. Yes, the air is recirculated, but when somebody is when somebody's stating, it doesn't make a difference. So what about, drinking and driving? Would you imagine if somebody said, well, it's my right. I don't want to take a taxi home. It's my car. I have a license. I have a few drinks. I have every right to get in that car and drive however I damn well please. I'm a good driver. I drive good intoxicated. And then I start citing some studies that say, because I'm sure if you cherry pick, you guys all know that if you search for a specific thing, you Google a specific thing, you could find what you're looking for. I could find facts that leprechauns exist if I really, cherry pick. But the bottom line is, you don't do that. You don't hear people saying, it's my right to drive drunk. So why do you have people insisting, and it's just such a small thing, putting a mask on. And how many people that were affected across such a huge spectrum, like I said, and then the people that they were going to meet, the business meetings, the planes that didn't take off, the cost, the company, and what was the other option of the airline? To let it go? If you start letting that go, then they could be open to lawsuits. If somebody does get subsequently does come down with COVID after that flight, they could easily be sued for that. They could say, "Hey, well, you didn't make this woman wear a mask." It would set a precedent, not president, precedent. And I don't think that's Republicans should understand this. Rules are rules. They're there for a reason. So I agree with. It was a harsh decision to turn the plane around, but the other only options were to let it slide or to use force. And It was going to be costly, no matter which one of those three they picked. It was going to hurt the airlines. It was going to hurt all the people on the plane and all the people that they were going to meet. Hundreds, thousands of people affected because one woman couldn't put a piece of cloth on her face to protect other people because of her freedoms. Come on, people. Grow up. Have a good Friday. I'll be back later with another video.